Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. And we got a lot to talk about. We got these Democrats in Texas evading their duty, violating their oath. We've got a grand jury that's been ordered to be impaneled for criminal charges. This is not a game, folks. So what do as people file in? I play some little interesting videos, and I'll do that now while people get ready to join us in the chats.
Training fleas requires a glass jar with a lid. The fleas are placed inside. They are left undisturbed for 3 days. Then, when the jar is opened, in fact, the fleas will never jump higher than the level set by the lid. Their behavior is now set for the rest of their lives. And when these fleas reproduce, their offspring will automatically follow their example.
Why are our Democrat colleagues so determined to flood our country with millions of illegal aliens? And I'd like to suggest that perhaps it's because they benefit from it politically. Remember that every state is apportioned congressional seats based on population, not based on citizenship. Counting non-citizens in congressional apportionment has resulted in more seats for blue states and fewer congressional seats for red states.
Criminals off the street, and they've given them to her to put into our country. And this will be one of the greatest mistakes in history for them to allow, and I think they probably did it because they think they're going to get votes, but it's not worth it because they're destroying the fabric of our country by what they've done. There's never been anything done like this at all. They've destroyed people let in, and all over the world crime is down all over the world except here. Crime here is up and through the roof despite their fraudulent statements that they made. Crime in this country is through the roof, and we have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance.
Think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on.
retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. I hope you're having a great night tonight. I'm once again simulcasting on Rumble and Utizzle, and I appreciate you all spending your time with me. You may be hearing some crickets because I had the door open because little Sadie, she couldn't make her mind up about going out, but she just made her mind up right when I started talking. Ha ha ha. But anyway, folks, I hope you all having a great evening. Let's see who came to see me tonight. Angel's here. Sherry's here. KNS Cleanup. Wayne is here. Darla. Michelle. Debbie. Rubbertoe. Rain. Hi, Robin. Stanton's here. MS Motorsports. Flannel Cheese. Marie. Nice to see you. Araceli. Yeah, I see. Yeah, Todd's here. How you doing, Todd? Mark's here. Nice to see you. Everybody. Yeah, the Dems went from Texas to New York and Illinois, and maybe a couple other redoubts. Redoubts. That's what they used to call it when you were lost your country, your battle, going to start a rump government. But you know, what is Pritzker thinking? What is Jabba the Pritzker thinking? What are all these people thinking? I need to put in my title about their oath, even though, you know, I just don't do it out of habit because that was banned from the three-letter agency-controlled social media we've been dealing with for the past at least 10 years. Couldn't say the word oath. But it says without purpose of evasion. I was waiting. Hi, Enrez. How you doing? Ty, nice to see you. Kim, nice to see you. Jackie. Amy, nice to see you. I was waiting to hear somebody say that part of the oath that you take it without reservation, without purpose of evasion. What in the world is jumping on a plane and running off to another state other than evading your duties to the oath you took? And what does people like Jabba the Pritzker think? That hundreds of thousands of men and women gave their lives for the under the American flag for this nation, so that this nation will not perish from the earth, so that they can play these damn games? That goes for the judges, too, that are playing their damn games, like trying to get Alina Hobb out. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a lot of things. Like, there's much more violations of the law than the grand conspiracy. And how did they get this situation? In the minds of the smooth-brained crowd with their mouth hanging open against Trump, no matter what he does, how do they get their brains switched over from what we knew was evil business, evil doings, a dark world that heavily involved the Clintons and many other politicians for decades, and they dump it all in Trump's lap? That's because they violated antitrust regulations by controlling the media, along with engaging in illegal psychological warfare campaigns and using those antitrust violations to weaponize information against the people. So we're going to talk about that. And we're not going to play their damn games. It's not a game. So that was my little soapbox that was bubbling around in my head. Hi, Tyne, how you doing? Well, we got We've got Greg Abbott throwing down the gauntlet. Bribery. Hey, I'll pay your fines. I'll pay your flight. Where's this picture I got of a plane? A charter jet, luxury jet that they got on. Cost something like $100,000 to fly the thing to Illinois to help these to avoid their duties and to undermine the democratic process. Okay, you do it, Pritzker. You do it. We'll see what happens. Here's what, before I get into that, I'm going to put this up. This is what I used in my thumbnail. The storm has arrived. You know where I got that from. And it just so happened to pop up on a post that I researched today. And you all are going to be very interested. I'll show you how I made it my thumbnail. And remember, here you go. Grand jury ordered. That's the thumbnail. And I am not a creator who gets people all wired up, all fired up, a la Scott McKay, Phil got a loose screw, Mike Penny, name them. Just go down the list. How many years have people been going to sleep going, oh, it's coming. Oh, this is it. Oh. No, I'm not doing that. But if you were any of a number of great many people that were involved, you'd think the storm was here. You'd be feeling the pain. Just because we don't see it and feel it doesn't mean it hasn't arrived. And what are they going to do? They're going to try to find out, where's this grand jury being impaneled? Who's going to be on the grand jury? Who are they going to be talking about? What kind of evidence are they going to be putting up? Maybe this little bit of information been thrown out there to get them to run, get chatter going, so these people can all be identified, all be caught, every single damn one of them, aiding and abetting, from the smallest bit of help right up to the top criminals. What are they going to try? What did they do with the Michael Sussman trial? What did they do with Durham's first 2 prosecutions that he ever lost in his 30-year career? Do you think they did anything with the jury? Do you think they did anything with the judge? What do you think they're going to try to do with this grand jury? And they're all being watched. And they're all crapping in their pants.
This is a major development. We told you last week that Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, had given permission for a strike force to begin. That's a very specific tool the Justice Department uses on when the grand jury jumped into action. We now know that a grand jury will be impaneled. Most likely, my sources are telling me, it could be in Mar-a-Lago home help. And so that is the very latest. You can check it out at Just News. We're going to have a whole lot more on that over the course of the
Florida, can you say? Eileen Cannon, perhaps? Oh, how will they attack her? You can be certain that's coming. They already did. I showed you many thumbnails from Midas Trash Pail Network that were doing most egregious, rude, descriptions of her that you could think of. Contemptuous. Hi, Pappy Two Bears. Thank you for going by buy me a coffee last night. I appreciate that, Pappy Two Bears. Hi, McCarthy. M. McCarthy. Nice to see you. So, yeah, Pappy Two Bears and Shannon went by there, and Mike and Bev again, and Wayne. I appreciate that. For this week, it's been much more encouraging. Then I thank you so much. So, yeah, we're going to have what they call chatter, right? Chatter. And since some of the media has been tamed to a certain degree, they have turned to U-Tizzle and pumped up certain channels, one of them being Midas Trash Bale Network. But it gives you an idea of which way they're going to go. But what I was saying is I do not make news. I do not come up here to speculate and drive people to distraction. I echo things, and I wait before I go blasting stuff out there. I wait and see what else is going to be put out, and I try to stay on the same page. Okay? So, what is going to happen with this situation with Texas? We can talk about that. Here's Midas Trash Pail Network. They call Jasmine Crockett called him Hot Wheels because he's in a wheelchair, and who knows what they're going to throw out at him now. Midas Trash Network comes out and says it. This is not a viewer who is putting up a comment like I read the other night. This is the channel. The fascists are on the march. The name calling is starting. The guttural, vicious name calling is starting. They're going to do whatever it takes to rig the midterms. Oh, election deniers. You're election deniers for the most secure system on the face of the earth. Oh, Barack Obama said it was. Oh, but now it's going to be rigged. Now your fellow Americans, which are by far the majority, are fascists, and you all are good guys? Yeah, okay. Fascists on the march, they say. Well, I'll tell you one thing. They stick together. And show me your friends, I'll show you you. Remember I said my dad used to say that? Show me your friends, I'll show you you. Here. Fake Indian endorses real Indian. Pocahontas, I bring her up because Trump has brought her up. Remember that, folks, through this broadcast. I'll put up a couple of posts from Trump about her. But all of a sudden, he zeroed in on Pocahontas. But here she is, backing a stone cold commie. What does that make her? And there isn't 10 cents worth of dirty ice between a fascist and a commie. Here we have Governor Abbott. Texas House Democrats abandon their duty to Texans. Hostage critical legislation to aid flood victims and advance property tax relief. Oh, they're getting right in the back pockets of Texans, where they've always been. There are consequences for dereliction of duty. I like that phrase. But also, not to have a purpose of evasion of your duty. Texas Governor Greg Abbott. He ordered the arrest of Democrats until all return to the Texas Capitol. Get your rear ends back. Of course, they're going to engage to the extent they can lawfare. Here again, you have Texas Governor Abbott talking on Fox News. But what about these other news stations? They're going to talk about this specious story that Trump took away disaster aid if you don't like Israel. Wait a minute. In Texas, they're holding up disaster aid. Which one is it? They changed that wording, though. In the what they were trying to throw rocks at Donald Trump over, they changed that wording. The gist of it was that a state can't discriminate. A state can't interfere with foreign policy by not doing business. Say I'm doing business with somebody from South Africa. They're shipping me stuff that I use to make my product here in the United States. And some governor jumps up and says, you can't do any business with the South Africans. I'm shutting you down. They can't do that. They can't interfere with commerce. And one of the penalties would be that you would lose federal funding. But they twisted to say, Trump says if you don't like the Jewish people, you're in big trouble. See how they play that damn game? But anyway, here's Governor Abbott.
Now, thank you so much. Can you tell us from your perspective, what is the issue? Why did they leave?
Left because they're very un-Texan. Texans don't run from a fight. And there's a fight going on in the legislature right now about redistricting as well as other things. But I'll make two quick points, Dana, about this. For one, to run to states like New York and Illinois to protest redistricting is kind of like running to Wisconsin to protest cheese. It's just kind of outrageous. Those are New York and Illinois are two hallmark states that have already done redistricting to eliminate Republicans. But the second thing is far more serious, and that is what these Democrats have done. Legislation in the state of Texas where we will be able to provide assistance and reform for all of the victims of that horrific flooding that we've had in the state of Texas. Our fellow Texans are being let down and not getting the flood relief responsibility, and I believe they have forfeited their seats in the state legislature because they're not doing the job they were elected to do.
Governor, let me show everybody what you were talking about. I think we have this map of Illinois and the districts as they've been drawn, and as you point out, it's been over and over again. They make these small little squiggly lines to make sure that they can figure out the best way to get Democrats there. So that's an example of what you were talking about. I want to play for you this sound from State Representative Gene Wu. He's a Democrat from Texas. Here's what he said.
The tool they're using is a racist, gerrymandered map. A map that seeks to use racial lines to divide hard-working communities. And Governor Abbott is doing this in submission to Donald Trump. So that Donald Trump could steal these communities' power and voice.
I have two main questions. How do you respond to his accusation that you're using a racist tool to do this? And the second question I have, if you could wrap it into this answer, is why now? Why do you need to do this in the middle of this session?
Sure. So what he just said is totally bogus. First, for redistricting purposes, it's not done for racial reasons. However, the racial outcome is this, and that is the district lines will solidify the Barbara Jordan African-American district in the Houston area, and it will add 4 new Hispanic districts. And so there's actually going to be more racial minority districts in the state of Texas. Why now? 2 reasons. One is, since we last did redistricting, there's been a change in law a court decision affecting Texas came out and said that coalition districts are no longer required, and it's perfectly legal to dismantle coalition districts. The second is gerrymandering can be done, or drawing lines can be done, on the basis of political makeup, as in Republican versus Democrat, and there's nothing illegal about that.
Look at the outcome of the most recent presidential election. All these districts that are being added.
4 new Hispanic districts. 4 new Hispanic districts. Remember, you demon rats, you're the ones who have been bringing so many migrants in from south of the border. Okay? And guess what? They've been here for a while and they like Trump. Okay? 4 new Hispanic districts. What are you saying the problem is? Hispanic people can't be represented? Is that what you're saying? And who brought them here? Who egged it on for them to come here? Now it's biting you right in the rear end.
Are districts that were won by Trump. Here's the point of that. These voters in these districts won by Trump, they don't have the ability to vote for their candidate of choice now because they're in congressional districts. They're in a Democrat district as opposed to a district won by Trump. And so we have the authority legally under redistricting law to draw districts that align with the voter preferences of the voters of the state of Texas. And Donald Trump proved in these Hispanic-created districts that Hispanics, as well as other people in those districts, they want to vote Republican.
Let me just point this out. Like, we've seen this movie before, and we know how it ends. If you don't have the votes, eventually you come home to Texas, and we know it, like, basically it's going to be overtaken by events. But you also said in your statement that you put out today to all of them, in a letter to them, you said, in addition to abandoning their offices, these legislators may also have committed felonies. What is the felony? What are the penalties for this?
So very simply, it would be bribery if any refused to perform an act in the legislature. And the reports are these legislators have been they sought money and they offered money to skip the vote, to leave the legislature, to take a legislative act. That would be bribery. And so the facts will have to come out. But I think based upon comments made by legislators themselves, they face a possibility of facing bribery charges, which is a second-degree felony in the state of Texas. There's one way to cure that, and that is if they get back to the state of Texas and make quorum today at a hearing that we have at 3 o'clock, they can cure themselves of any quid pro quo.
Well, they didn't cure themselves, and we'll see how this goes down. We'll see. Here's a picture of one of the districts, so-called districts, I sniped from Andrew Branca's channel. The green, in the green, look at that thing. It looks like somebody spilled something on the floor. I mean, it is not a contiguous shape. It's looks like, remember those little telescopes you used to get when you were a kid and you'd turn it, you'd look at the light and a kaleidoscope. That's what it looks like, a kaleidoscope. It's just a mess. And they're trying to say, oh, they're treating us bad. No, we're just getting rid of the crap that you all pumped into the system. Crap you pumped into the system. I had a video of, speaking of crap in the system, I had a video of RFK. I'm just going to show he's getting rid of sodas for SNAP. People with SNAP cards can't be buying soda. They can buy them if they want to, but they can't use our money. Where is that? I must not have got it. But anyway, how many? Here he is. Citizen Free Press. RFK Jr. taking steps to ban soda purchases with food stamps. If you want to buy sugary soda, the U.S. taxpayer should not pay for it. The U.S. taxpayer should not be paying to feed kids food, the poorest kids in the country, that will give them diabetes. but it was like a almost 5-minute clip. And I figured, well, I could just read it to you. And plus show you what else he's got planned. According to Babylon Bee, RFK unveils new plan to end childhood obesity by chasing fat kids with a stick. So, yeah, things are going along real good with Maha. But anyway, hi, Angel. Let's see. Miss Bendersue, how you doing? Bill's here. Let me see. Somebody else jumped in. I didn't see earlier. Sparky's here. Let's see. Who'd I miss? I thought I saw somebody new. Brush, how you doing? Nice to see you. I thought I saw unfamiliar name. Roland, nice to see you. You're not unfamiliar. I don't know. If I missed anybody, I apologize. It's hard to keep an eye on what you're doing. Plus, keep up with everything in the chats. Hey, I got good news. The New York Post is going to be the California Post too. Lights, camera, posted. The New York Post is heading west. So we're going to be, people in the West are going to be seeing headlines that are not as slanted as they used to be. Watch them go crazy over there in California. They'll be trying to bust open newspaper boxes and steal papers. You remember when people used to do that when there were article in there about them they didn't like? They would try to go around to every newspaper machine and take all the papers for anybody who read it. At least that's what we used to do back in the day when I was in politics. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. But anyway, there's some of the covers people will be able to enjoy over in California. I don't see. Here, this is a good one for you to put in your meta. Barack said Trump was a Russian asset. Be honest. Well, Brennan said Russia hacked the election. Be honest. I made the whole thing up. Thank you. Let me sure get down you put it in your meta. Now that we're not as censored as we were, you can put this up. Because repetitiveness, folks, that's the key. We got to keep pumping it out there. That's our jobs. Like I said, I don't try to make news. I try to echo it. Boy, I tell you what. I just saw a comment pop up on my screen from a nitwit from Midas Trash Network. But anyway, I ain't going to worry about it. Let me see what's going on in the comments. Hi, Yvonne. Nice to see you. Well, yeah, they're going to be done. It's just how, they're going to get redistricted. What's his name? Gavin Newsom says he's going to punish the Republicans by changing districts in California to remove 5 Republicans. And it's estimated that once these crazy districts get straightened out and to look like a real district, they'll lose about 25 seats. I mean, they can't stop it. And Newsom better watch his step too. But they've got these judges that we're going to have to get rid of. They're going to have to be removed for bad behavior. Speaking of getting a story out. I'm going to leave this picture up here. There we go. There we go. So, let's see. Donald Trump. Let's see what he had to say today. India is not only buying massive amounts of Russian oil, they are then, for much of the oil purposes, selling it on the open market for big profits. They don't care how many people in Ukraine are being killed by the Russian war machine. Because of this, I will be substantially raising the tariff paid by India to the U.S. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. So, yeah, they're ignoring Trump's very clear desire for them not to buy oil. But you know what? Russia came out with something very interesting today. Vladimir Putin even put it in a letter. Let me see if this is it. This is about China and but hey, and this is straight from the Kremlin. They're putting it out as a warning to let us know that the UK is planning on causing some tragedies at sea. Some saboteurs are going to blow things up and put pressure on Donald Trump to stop all of Russia's barge traffic. London intends to assign Ukrainian security forces to carry out both terrorist attacks. They say it's going to be two of them at sea, reports the Russian Foreign Intelligence Service. I tend to believe them. Exert pressure on the Trump administration. Foreign Intelligence Service, SVR. Sabotage attacks are also being prepared to force sanctions on buyers of Russian energy resources, the service said. Kind of like whoever was responsible for the Nord Stream operation, right? About Elon Musk. China is trying to shut down Elon Musk. I won't read that whole article. Europeans have started moving to Russia more often due to disappointment with their government's policies. It is noted that since Russia introduced a program for people who share traditional spiritual and moral values, about 1.5 thousand applications for temporary residence permits in the Russian Federation were submitted in July alone, the most from Germany. The Swiss newspaper Tagesspiegel called this result, quote, impressive. Many want to move to Russia because they have lost faith in the West. Europeans consider the EU a sinking ship. Remember when I read that verdict, so-called verdict from that court, EU court, that they could not easily reverse a lot of the migration that's already occurred. One more thing, and I got some things to back that up too. China pushes back at U.S. demands to stop buying Russian and Iranian oil. my prediction, and like I say, I could be wrong. I'm not going to say I know everything. But at some point, there's going to be a trilateral summit. And the buildup to it is going to really get them nervous. And I think it's going to be between the U.S., Russia, and China, a trilateral summit. In some shape or form, as Trump always likes to say, because we've had China and Russia going to the UN and NATO repeatedly with complaints about what's happened in Ukraine as far as BIO, okay, and labs and money laundering, crimes against humanity, international RICO. And watch for it. Watch for it. And there's going to be so much going on. How can the media deflect or defend it? Deflect from it or defend it. That's going to be the biggest eye-opener. Remember, the Biden family business, hundreds of millions of dollars being funneled out of there to various politicians and they're through their children, Mitt Romney, Nancy Pelosi, Hunter Biden, people we don't even know about, and the funding to the Wuhan lab, right? And what they were doing in Ukraine with Metabiota, which Hunter was involved in. China's PO'd because they're getting blamed for it, and Russia's mad because their genetics were being specifically targeted, and nobody said a thing about it. There's the timing when that's going to pop off, and that is going to rattle a lot of cages. Here we got Ken Paxton. Democrats in the Texas House who try and run away like cowards should be found, arrested, and brought back to the Capitol immediately. We should use every tool at our disposal to hunt down those who think they are above the law. Attorney General Ken Paxton. Boy, how many times have they tried to tear him down? They tried to impeach him, for God's sake. What's this one about? Republicans say hunt down the Democrats who are leaving the state over redistricting. You know, I asked a question a couple of streams ago, and I said, who was Durham working with? And I don't remember anybody getting a right answer. So I'm going to ask it again. Because we know these indictment, this grand jury is popping off because of the Durham Annex. Remember they called it an annex? That nobody reported on to us. We didn't even hear about it. I didn't know there was a Durham Annex. I kept wondering what the final say was on the Durham investigation. Remember that? So there was something out there. There is something out there. Who is Durham working with? Combined over 650 investigators across 50 states. They can impanel a grand jury anywhere they want in the 50 states. They don't have to operate in the magic kingdom known as D.C. Because I'm going to get to that in a minute. Well, the reason I brought this stuff up about Russia and Putin bringing up that the UK is going to try to sabotage things to put pressure on Trump and adversely affect his foreign policy efforts. The Russians are paying close attention to it. Here is, you see he's talking in English, but you see the Russian language transcribed below. This was played on Russian media, where Trump is saying the nuclear submarines that he ordered are in place. They're where they're supposed to be. So people are concerned about it.
I've already put out a statement where they have to be.
Did you say what Steve Witkoff's message will be to the Russians? Is there anything they can do to avoid sanctions at this point?
Yeah, get a deal where people stop getting killed. They had a number that just came out that a tremendous number of Russian soldiers are being killed. And likewise, Ukraine, a lower number, but still thousands and thousands of people. And now we're adding towns where they're being hit by missiles. So it's a lot of people being killed in that ridiculous war. And, you know, we stopped a lot of countries from war, India and Pakistan. We stopped a lot of countries. And we're going to get that one stopped, too. Somehow we're going to get that one stopped. That's a really horrible.
So anyway, I don't see Trump being put out on Russian media very much. I just thought that was important because they did put him out. I see some guesses. Pompeo, Hubert. Thank you, Sparky. I appreciate that. I'm going to put up some CUE posts and also a little bit of research I did. I'm going to go over some more of the stuff with that Donald Trump posted and other people have posted. Last week's job report was rigged, just like the numbers prior to the president. I thought when I started reading this, I said, well, he's just going on and on about this. But no, he has a purpose. He's bringing it back in people's minds that the presidential election, the last one, never mind 16, 20 was rigged. Record-setting revisions in favor of radical left Democrats. Those big adjustments were made to cover up and level out the fake political numbers that were concocted in order to make a great Republican success look stellar. I will pick an exceptional replacement. Thank you for your attention to this matter. MAGA. Now, I wonder who that's going to be. It's not a very high-profile position, but it is right now. Now here, Trump found out Sydney Sweeney, I couldn't think of her name last night. Sydney Sweeney, not only is she a Republican, but she can handle a handgun. They got footage of her practicing on a fire range. Wow, what a find for somebody, for some young person. Well, she's 29. They say, I thought she was younger than that. But anyway, Sydney Sweeney, a registered Republican, has the hottest ad out there. It's for American Eagle, and the jeans are flying off the shelves. Go get them, Sydney. On the other side of the ledger, Jaguar did a stupid and seriously woke advertisement that is a disaster. The CEO just resigned. The company is in turmoil. Shouldn't they have learned a lesson from Bud Light, which went woke and essentially destroyed, in a short but very woke campaign, the company? The market cap destruction has been unprecedented. Billions of dollars lost. Or just look at woke singer Taylor Swift. Ever since I alerted the world as to what she was by saying the truth, that I can't stand her. Oh, boy. And, of course, with Sydney Sweeney, the memes are flying, especially anything to do with Trump. Remember Trump and Rosie? Good genes, bad genes. There you go. Put that on your meta page. to say, I'm going to leave this right here. Only Rosie O'Donnell. That's what Trump said. That's the only one I said anything bad about. And then they have this one. The left versus the right. We are not the same. You know, she's not even dressing that overly provocative. I mean, you know, I know it's, you know, cleavage or whatever, but compared to the crap that we've seen putting out, that's about the as bad as it gets, and it's not that bad. Let me see. What's this clip here? This is a girl that I showed one time at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know her name. The presenter, the girl on the right. And I said, well, she's a new face. The next thing you know, she's the nighttime anchor. But she used to come up at like 5 in the morning, the real graveyard shift. But anyway, what's this goober got to say that she's interviewing?
It's different now. Why aren't Democrats feeling the love from voters?
Well, first of all, I can understand how they're feeling. They're just feeling that there's more chaos, more corruption, and costs are going up. And they know when Republicans control both houses and he's president, this is a rubber stamp situation. So I'm telling you right now, when you look at the actual numbers, I don't expect everyone to be loving politicians right now. This is a really hard time to be in America.
The reason the American people don't love us is because of the Republicans. Because the Republicans are in control of everything. That's the reason they don't like us. What? You make a hell of a lot of sense, woman. Tariff revenue rose in July. Here you go. Almost $30 billion in July. And this chart you see through the Biden administration. It's 3 times. And it's just getting warmed up. I'm going to predict that we're going to get on a predictable path of about $1 trillion in income a year from tariffs, which would be, I believe, about $75 billion a month once everything gets rolling. Hi, Dean. How you doing? Thank you. Appreciate the compliment. So anyway, and that's going to replace taxes. I could have got a clip where Trump was saying he's going to start by removing taxes from people at $200,000 and under. He said the key word is start. Roland, I hate to do this to you, buddy. Minister Mark Carney hugs a man wearing a thong at a gay pride parade. We're going to try to liberate you guys. We're going to try our best. I get that off screen, burning my eyes. Here we got Trump again. Is a loser. She lies about everything, including the fact she's an Indian. She is not. She's no Pocahontas. In just 6 months, I cut costs, especially energy and taxes, tremendously. Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren on CNBC said costs have gone up, and so did Klobuchar just now. People are paying more. BS. She is just angry. I blew up her terrible presidential campaign. Call her out. Well, yeah, he's bringing her up a lot. I got Abbott's letter talking about their arrest and saying they can be replaced for abandoning their seats and all that stuff. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there it is. If you want to get a screenshot and blow it up, I'm sure you see it in other places. I was going to read that. But after I got the clip of his interview, I figured, well, I don't need to read that. You guys get the gist. Let me see if anybody guessed. I saw a couple other guesses. Mr. Vinner says Sessions. Grassley said, Pappy Two Bear says Grassley. Roland Halleck says Thune needs to be impeached. Yeah, well, a lot of them are. Who knows who's being threatened or what? We're going to find out, though. Well, let me show you all something. I said, well, let me look up. Well, before I get to that, I had a post up, and I didn't go over it the other night. And the word, right? Treason. And I came up to this post, and if you want that magic word, treason, and you come across it. And they got a lot of links. Treason, Trump, Benedict Arnold, Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin visits Helsinki summit, treason. Huffington Post, Putin, Trump, Putin, treason. Define projection. What is the penalty for treason? So they showed these links to all these articles where the mainstream media was accusing Trump of treason. Projecting. What's the penalty? So I clicked on the White House Gov Presidential Actions 2018 amendments, changes to the Courts-Martial Manual, United States. It says Manual, Courts-Martial, United States. And this is what I got. Ain't that something? Page not found. And you can see I'm on the right thing because it says search whitehouse.gov. Isn't that strange? So anyway, I said to myself, what's going on with Huber? Because I saw a post that said Huber has everything, right? I took screenshots of my, right? Look at how Google treated the search. John Huber, Brody Lee, American professional wrestler. John Hubert, football running back. John Huber man. John Huber investor. John Huber, Utah. Utah. There he is. Look how far down. When I put John Huber in, look how far down Google search has him. So that got me curious. I'm like, why are they burying John Huber's name? This is just the other day, right? So here was John Huber, Utah, American lawyer. Utah obituary, U.S. attorney, okay. Well, I clicked on him, and it says he's retired. He's not in the government anymore. Remember I told you all that the other night? So I said to myself, see if anybody guessed it. Who is John Durham working with? Durham. Well, Huber's not in government anymore. Todd said Ray. MS says, Motorsport says Sessions. I clicked on drum roll. Brum. Mike Horowitz. Look at what they did. Mike Horowitz, researcher. Mike Horowitz, college. Mike Horowitz, lacrosse. Mike Horowitz, Los Angeles. Mike Horowitz, appliance repair. Michael Horowitz, writer. Michael Horowitz, Brookfield. Mike Horobeck. Mike Horokai. Can you believe this? I said, well, is he out of government too? You see it right on your screen, folks. This is my actual Google search. That's not the Horowitz this is not the Horowitz you're looking for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, even that I'm not even looking for. But look at it, 2, 4, 6, 8 letters. What were we told? The stealth bomber would have 8 letters in their last name, right? So I'm excited again. I'm saying, oh, well, did he get kicked out or is he retired? Well, I pulled him up. Here he is. Put in the Inspector General title. Because you saw I couldn't find him. So I said, he must be inactive. 62 years old. He's married to Alexandria Kaufman for 26 years. Okay. Quick facts. Office, Chair of Pandemic Response Accountability Committee. And then, so he's still in government. The Pandemic Response Accountability Committee. I said, okay, well, he's still involved somehow. So then I pulled up something else. Michael Horowitz. Drum roll. Do you see what I see? Why would they bury his name? Do you see what I see? Inspector General of the Federal Reserve Board. And Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Incumbent. Why would they bury his name? Why would I have to click and finally go on Wikipedia to see that he's the IG, Office of Inspector General for the Federal Reserve Board? That's one, Jerome Powell. Number 2, Pocahontas. Remember? She's the one who's been fighting tooth and nail to keep this Consumer Protection Agency from being shut down, working with those judges. She's on the finance committee for the Consumer Protection Agency, and she's in charge of millions of dollars being run through there. Horowitz has gone from the Office of Inspector General that put out in 2017 or 18 that Fox News picture I put up all the time that talks about Haiti, the Clinton Foundation, and crimes against children. He's gone from that to Inspector General of the Federal Reserve Board. And this was an article that came out over a week ago. For alleged perjury about $2.5 billion. Building renovation. There he is, Jerome Powell, chairman of the Federal Reserve, that refuses to lower the rates. Trump said that those building projects were corrupt. The most corrupt he's seen in a building project. Horowitz is the B-2 bomber, the stealth bomber. So Jerome, sleep tight. Why would they bury Horowitz's name? I pulled up some other things. This is what made me get the picture for the thumbnail pic. This is not old hat. Think about what Dan Scavino posted just a couple of days ago, and I was on live stream saying he's posting a lot. Usually posts once or twice a week or once a day at the most, and he posted a number of posts at one time. Remember what Dan Scavino said. I'm sorry. Gosh, help me out. He's the one who was shocked to his Dan Bongino. Almost identical words. Dan Bongino, shocked to the core. He said, just because the public, this is a post from years ago, 2018. Just because the public is unaware of something does not mean nothing is happening. Mueller hearing a tactic meant to delay. H report. People were thinking, Huber. Horowitz report release necessary. Prior to Comey release, H plus C equals D. D equals start of the mass awakening. White House, ABCs, that means three-letter agencies, State Department, foreign entities, right? D stands for D-class, folks. Post D comes many eyes. When blackmail no longer holds due to loss of senior level key government positions and 11th hour testimony, those previously protected becomes prey. Then you hear what came right out of Donald Trump's mouth: hunters become the hunted. God wins. But post number 3354. The storm sequence of events. Horowitz Inspector General report. Comey report is next. D-class of FISA. Then indictments. Worth remembering. You're seeing people like Dan Scavino, Donald Trump, Dan Bongino and Kash Patel all using the exact same phraseology And Pam Bondi said, this is not a game. Again, exact same phraseology. I got to blow up this, I'll show you. Obama and Susan Rice, okay? I'll get to that in a second. 1 + 1 = 2. True. Non-important yet. Think leak investigation. Think Horowitz mid-year. RE FBI media assets. We identified numerous FBI employees, all at levels of the organization, and with no official reason to be in contact with the media, who were nevertheless in frequent contact with reporters. Some of those media contacts were social in nature too, including drinks and meals after work, going to sporting events, and playing golf. Think WikiLeaks, Hillary Rodham Clinton, Podesta media assets list. They always use the same contacts. MSM assets complicit, knowingly. What are these FBI characters doing regularly, meeting with the media? And the media is, as I said, controlled by a very small group of people in violation of antitrust law. This was a graphic. Oh, I hate this. The picture didn't transfer into this. Anyway, it shows you how the Washington Post was coordinating with certain people. Messaging over here from Dooku, paying off how? Getting people paid off. But anyway, this is, remember the Susan Rice classified letter? But the general public just got it. Obama Biden Oval Office meeting on January 5th was key to entire anti-Trump operation. It's a shame this is hard to read, but we'll be seeing these names in the future. The strategy to get Flynn fired didn't immediately work, so another leak was deployed to Greg Miller, Adam Entour, Ellen Nakashima of the Washington Post. The article headline, National Security Advisor Flynn discussed sanctions with Russian ambassador despite denials. All he did was say, I'll talk to you about it after we get sworn in. That's all he said. But anyway, the point is that everything is being played out right now. Declassification, the judges with the FISA warrants that we've seen purposely trying to stall Trump's agenda. They're the ones being thrown up there because they got the most to lose. Here's a graph. I've showed a couple of times before. I'll have to get a real high resolution of this U.S. coordination of biological laboratories. This is big stuff, what's happening with the grand jury. that Pam Bondi has ordered. But I'm saying right now that this China, Russia, and U.S., there will be a trilateral meeting or summit. So many people don't like Trump, and they're maligning him. No, what's going to wake everybody up is we get down to what they've been doing with those labs and how close we came to being destroyed, having our civilization destroyed, illnesses like we never thought possible, that there are people around that would even plan that kind of a thing. Here's something Dan Scavino put up. And I didn't play it the other day. It was 8-3 yesterday. And he's got there a flag and an eagle. What do you all make of this? I'll play the video. And I'm thinking, what was he just filming DC from his office window? I don't know what the deal is with that building between the Capitol and the camera. That's some wild looking windows there. But I don't know. Maybe I might get a strike because I believe it's got music. But I don't know if it means anything or not. I'll play it, see what you all think. What do you make of it? Is it a before the ballroom view, or I don't know? Oh, French farmers make life miserable, make life smelly and uncomfortable for squatters. They went to the police first, but were ignored, so they decided to take matters in their own hands by spraying the invaders with liquid fertilizer. I thought that was interesting. They're going to do more than that over there in Europe, or they're done. Did you all see this? In Wyoming, a hailstorm in Wyoming. What did Wyoming do to anybody? You know, before we start thinking, oh, weather manipulation, what did Wyoming do to anybody?
My God.
sporadic, but they're going to get bigger, I think.
Some of them were the size of baseballs. I mean, they'll knock your brains out of your head. Here's a clip of, let's see what this is. Let me see. I'm not even sure what this is. Brand new developments in the Russia hoax probe. Oh, okay. Here's where he's announcing the grand jury. And he's going to say, I believe he says at the end or somewhere near the end, we're not sure if it's going to be one or more indictments. I'll tell you what I think of that in a minute.
Fox News can confirm that an order directing an unnamed U.S. federal prosecutor to take evidence to a grand jury relating to an alleged conspiracy to tie then 2016 candidate Donald Trump to the country of Russia. Now, Fox News reviewed the one-page order just hours ago signed by the Attorney General. A source familiar with the probe confirms this as well, while a DOJ spokesperson declined to comment on this report of an investigation. Fox is told Attorney General Bondi is taking the referrals from Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, quote, very seriously. The spokesperson says that Bondi believes there is, quote, clear cause for deep concern, end quote, and a need for the next steps. Now, this move comes just a couple of weeks after the Director of National Intelligence, you see her right there, Tulsi Gabbard, sent a criminal referral to the Justice Department regarding what she says proves there was a conspiracy to undermine Trump's candidacy and later his first term in office. Now, to be clear today, there are no charges that have been filed, no indictments. This is incredibly early in the process. What we have here is taking evidence the Justice Department believes it has to a grand jury to secure an eventual indictment or indictments. We don't know exactly where the grand jury will meet. We don't know who will go before the grand jury, and that's by design, because grand juries determine if there's enough evidence to indict, and grand juries are secretive in the American legal system, so it's normal not to know all of the answers. Again, the DOJ declining on any comment regarding this investigation. But, Will, big news, this was signed by the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, today to take this evidence of an alleged conspiracy to a grand jury with the hope to get an indictment or multiple indictments.
Well, you know, conspiracies take two or more people, so my guess would be it would be multiple indictments. Now, they could have just one particular person up and they have conspirator number one, conspirator number two, like that, unindicted co-conspirator number three. They could do it that way. But a conspiracy is two or more people. That's all you need. Two people to have a conspiracy, and they can go up to however many's involved. Look at this. I'm not picking on Whiskeypalians, but like I've told stories about a guy that was an Episcopalian guy, and you know, there's a schism in the church. You know, some people don't go along with the totally woke stuff, and they're still in the church. I'm not picking on any group. San Diego pastor, a pastor busted by People versus Preds for allegedly messaging who he thought were 14 and 15-year-old boys on Grindr. You figure that platform could do something about this. Reverend Roger Hankey with St. John's Episcopal Church was seen emerging from his home with his husband after being confronted. Here he is. Reverend Roger Hankey. Here he is being confronted.
How's it going, Roger? Good. You want to talk to me privately, or do you want your boyfriend to find out, or your husband?
What?
I mean, do you want to talk to me privately outside? You better talk to me. I mean, like I said, I don't want him to hear. Otherwise, we can tell him if you want. It's a picture of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to go walk and talk? We just want to keep it private.
What do you want to do?
I mean, I want to talk to you about the conversations you were having with the people that were talking to you on Grindr.
It's okay.
It's okay?
Yes.
Do you want me to tell him, or you want me to call the cops? What would your church think? Do you want to just have a conversation, man? I just want to get your side of the story.
Sure. Let's have a conversation.
You want to go walk?
We can just do it right here.
So I'm filming, obviously, because I don't know you, and I just want you to keep your hands to yourself, because obviously, I don't know you, but I have a lot of information, Roger. I know everything about you.
Okay.
What's going on at church? Why are you out for a couple weeks?
I'm having surgery.
Having surgery? Okay. Well, I mean, he's right there, so you mean we can either like have this with him or by yourself, or
we can just do it right here.
Okay.
Let's just talk.
So, are you familiar with like what I'm referencing?
Never. Well, I know Grindr.
Okay. Like how many underage boys are you talking to on Grindr?
I don't know.
Or how many have reached out to you? How many have talked to you, or what?
I assume they're all of age.
I have evidence otherwise, Roger. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be here.
Okay. I don't know their ages.
Okay.
When I talk to someone on Grindr, I assume.
You assume until someone tells you otherwise, or
I ask them.
What if someone tells you otherwise?
Then I cancel conversations.
Always?
I try to. Yes.
Try to? What prevents you from being able to? Because, like I said, man, I wouldn't be here, obviously, if I didn't have the information and evidence of showing otherwise. So, it's just best if you're honest, man.
I'm trying.
Trying? How many underage boys? How many underage boys' evidence am I going to have in my pocket to talk to you about?
I don't know because I don't know who's underage.
Because Roger.
So they say they're 18.
Roger, look. Because if somebody came to me with that exact same question.
Are you recording?
Don't touch.
Don't.
I just said you keep. Okay.
It's
well, I'll just like I said. Do you want me to call the cops, or do you want me to go to the? I'll just go to the church. That's cool. I'll just go to SDSU and talk to them about the 14 and 15-year-old boy. It's up to you, man. I'm not here soliciting.
I don't know anything about a 14.
Why do I have pictures and conversations of such?
I don't know their ages.
You don't know their ages? Okay.
No.
Let me show you otherwise. Is your daddy calling you in? Because, like I said, I can just call the cops here if you want, or we can just have a simple fucking conversation.
We'll be quick, man. Just want to talk.
Do you want to have a conversation about this, or do you just want me to call the cops? I'm recording because you just did exactly what I told you not to do. I'm recording because I can record you, and I'm recording because you're a fucking pedophile. So, okay, I'll just go to the church, Roger. It's cool. Hey, I'll see you in 2 weeks at the church, and I'll be handing out the fucking exact chat logs of all of the fucking kids you were talking to at church. You dumb piece of shit.
Well, he had to lose it there at the end and get foul-mouthed, and before that he was doing pretty good. But apparently it was families that go to the church, their kids. Just disgusting. See what's going on. Well, not a lot of the chats. Well, there's so much of it. You just get numb. You just get numb over it. Here's Midas Trash Network. Jasmine Crockett is about to lose her feed. Trump lawyer has meltdown after judges fire her. Judges want her out. She refuses to go. 43,000 views. I'm talking about with the Midas Trash Network. There are attorneys I know that are behind this channel that help finance it and stand beside it. And the bottom line with this situation is They're trying to appoint a prosecutor with judges appointing a prosecutor when the Constitution is very clear that the President of the United States makes appointments with the advice and consent of the Senate, and judges do not play a role. But they have some type of dopey statute that says judges may appoint a prosecutor. They're going to take that and run with it and use it to block Alina Habba. They've already have a person who has been charged with attempted the M word as in his case thrown out because they're saying Alina Habba is not properly appointed. The judges don't want her. So his case should be thrown out. It went to the appeals court. And the appeals court said, we're going to uphold your complaint in part. We're not going to dismiss your case, but we do agree that your complaint about Alina Habba has some validity. So we got people on the appeals court that don't even understand the basic power structure of the Constitution. So I don't know if it's all operation to get rid of these people, get them on the record, get them to write down stuff that shows they don't know what the hell they're doing, or they're purposefully doing things to frustrate the administration, which is a form of sedition. I don't know which of the two it is. But these judges got to go. And there's a long list. Out of the 700, almost 800 of them, it's not that big of a percentage. But they have been put in key positions. Most notably, for what we were discussing earlier, the FISA courts, and in positions in D.C., like Bozeberger, or whatever the hell his name is, and Chutkin, and judges like that in D.C., the Magic Kingdom, where everybody gets off. Nobody gets punished. Unless you were walking through the Capitol with a big gulp on a beautiful day, then you go to jail for years. What's this one? Oh my God. New. 3 Venezuelan nationals charged with red rum in Texas were released. The Department of Homeland Security tells Fox News. 2 also face charges for allegedly robbing and S3 actually assaulting a woman at gunpoint the same day. There they are. New neighbors. The type of people judges are risking their careers and in some cases, I believe, even their freedom. Depending how much this stuff let's see. Oh, this is a show. Now, that was I already read that, didn't I? Showdown unfolding. Texas government Greg Abbott threatens to remove Democrats. They got till 3 p.m. today. Well, they didn't show up. I watched them ring the bell. They didn't report, and there was no quorum. So I guess they're fugitives. They're fugitives, and they call it a non-criminal warrant is what's been issued, but they can be apprehended and forcibly returned. Several former Justice Department attorneys seek elected office, some to fight policies enacted by Trump. This is when you know you're winning. You SH, and that's it, can a bunch of operatives and commies, and they run for office. A number of ex-DOJ attorneys are running for office after resigning. They knew they better resign. They're getting ready to be fired. They fired, I think it's up to 50 now, 50 immigration judges that weren't doing their jobs right. They've just fired them. And prosecutors too, under Article 2 court system. So they say they're resigning from a department they say has been contaminated by politics. Oh, you're so pure you don't get involved in politics? Oh, but now you're running for office after you've been fired. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Do you see anybody saying a damn thing about this? I had the interview with Trump where he's being asked, are you going to pardon Sean P. Diddy Combs? Are you going to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell? Are you going to pardon Sanchez, that lawmaker that got convicted? Trump never... Why these questions? Why don't they ask about this one? Trump pardons Bevelyn Williams for praying outside abortion clinic. Sentenced to 3 years under the Biden auto pen executive order scandal. Not a peep about that. As a matter of fact, the majority of Americans probably don't even know that this woman got sent to jail for 3 years for praying. Much less that Trump pardoned her. All they want to focus on is Epstein and crap like that. So anyway, I want to leave you all on a high note. A high note. Memory lane. Future proves past. Yeah, I can't watch this clip too many times. There's just not enough times that I could watch this clip. I could get up in the morning and watch it with my coffee and a bagel. I play it when I'm going to sleep. I don't care. But anyway, folks, what do I always say? I say thank you. The whole live stream I didn't say, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. It helps the channel to get around. Do me a favor and give me a thumbs up before you forget when you leave. And I want to thank everybody for spending their precious time with me. And I don't usually broadcast Tuesdays, but if something big happens, you know me, I'll come up and broadcast. Either way, I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
We want to remind the audience to please not talk out loud. Please do not applaud. You're just wasting time.